Every cowboy needs a horse, and every kingdom-saving plumber needs a dinosaur to ride. Making his debut on the Super Nintendo is Mario's green sidekick. Well, Mario's other green sidekick. Sorry, Luigi. Yoshi has become one of the most recognizable supporting characters in the history of gaming. He's so iconic that he branched off from Mario and starred in his own series of games with a unique cast of characters, with a plethora of prehistoric pals and rivals. Which of these Jurassic cast members are the most moral, and which ones should have been left in the Ice Age? I'm Kyle with 1UP Binge, and this is Yoshi Characters Good to Evil. Before we flutter jump into this list, let's elaborate on some rules. Firstly, we will not be including regular enemies or one-off bosses. Most of their evil is likely influenced by Kamek's magic. Secondly, we will be covering a few characters which are not exclusive to the Yoshi series. We will include characters such as specific Yoshis that have appeared in the Mario RPGs, for example. Lastly, we will be looking at the personality traits of the characters based on the games. Outside sources, such as the Super Mario World cartoon or the manga, will not be counted. And no, that freakish thing from the 1993 Mario Bros. Movie will not be included. Look how they massacred my boy. With all that out of the way, it's time to hatch our list, starting with the most noble character and working our way down to the most evil. These characters are the good. Stretching his tongue successfully into first place, Yoshi is our pick for the gold medal of good. Now, this is a bit complicated because technically Yoshi is a species and not a specific character, even though most Yoshis have similar personality traits. While it is true that certain Yoshis have characteristics which are less favorable, generally, Yoshis are portrayed as cheerful, fun-loving, helpful, and friendly. They're all about peace and happiness, best exemplified by the fact that the Super Happy Tree protects their island in Yoshi's story. They're kind of the hippies of the Super Mario universe, hanging out, spreading peace and love, and binging on munchies. Yoshis come in all different colors, and they all treat each other nicely regardless of their differences. They're all able to coexist peacefully, with race never being an issue in their society. They're also shown to be exceptionally good parents, protecting baby Mario, baby Luigi, and a plethora of other babies we'll get to throughout their adventures. Yoshi's mere presence always elicits joy among players no matter which game he appears in or what his role is. The amount of positivity he radiates both in his universe and in our hearts makes Yoshi an easy choice for the gold medal of good. The silver medal of good goes to the highest ranking baby on the list, Baby Donkey Kong. This is a bit of a surprising choice given the adult version of this character can switch from being a hero or a villain. Baby Donkey Kong has appeared in a grand total of 2 games, with his debut being in Yoshi's Island DS. In this game, Baby Donkey Kong is one of the 7 star children who help Yoshi out on his journey to rescue baby Luigi. Baby Donkey Kong appears at the beginning of the second world, when baby Peach is captured by a group of Yukikis. Upon rescuing her, he offers to help assist Yoshi and the other babies to reach Kamek and baby Bowser. What ranks Baby Donkey Kong so high on our list is how willing he is to help the other babies despite not having met them. Baby Donkey Kong could have easily taken the side of the Yukikis and captured baby Mario along with baby Peach. Despite this, he went against the instincts of the other primates and followed his moral compass. He is also arguably the most efficient baby in the game, gifting Yoshi with his ability to climb and swing from vines and chains. Because of his usefulness and selfless actions, Baby Donkey Kong definitely deserves the silver medal of good. Now let's move on to our next entry. But first, today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is an app and browser extension that essentially allows you to place your computer or phone anywhere in the world so that you can access the internet as if you were in that country. One of the big perks of this is being able to access different libraries of available content on your favorite streaming services. It's actually pretty shocking how many series and movies are available in other countries but are region blocked here in the US and vice versa. For example, on the US Netflix, you can't access shows like South Park and Rick and Morty, but if you use Surfshark VPN, you can unlock them in a couple seconds. On Disney Plus, you can actually unlock a huge library of mature-themed comedies, sitcoms, and shows like The Walking Dead that aren't available in the US. If you're a gamer, you can use Surfshark to gain access to earlier release dates for certain video games if your country's local release is later. And on a more serious note, it can also keep you protected protected from DDoS attacks and swatting, and as far as general security goes, it also encrypts all your data to help keep your passwords safe online. And on top of all this, Surfshark is the only VPN to allow users to use their account on unlimited devices, which is great. And you don't have to be super tech savvy to use it. It's all very, very simple. And here's the best part. Surfshark made a special promo code for our audience. So if you follow the link below and use code OneUpBinge, you'll get 83% off and 3 extra months totally free. It's a hell of a deal. Thank you, Surfshark VPN, for sponsoring us today, helping us unlock more streaming content online and keeping our data safe. Now let's get back to the video. The bronze medal of good goes to the first of many Yoshi variations, Yoshi Kid from Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Technically, the name of this character is whatever the player wants it to be, so to avoid confusion, we're sticking to calling him Yoshi Kid. This young dinosaur hatches from an egg while Mario and his allies are working their way up the ranks of the Glitz Pit. Yoshi Kid sees Mario as his adoptive father, despite referring to him by his Glitz Pit stage name, the Great Gonzalez. Yoshi Kid is portrayed being competitive and full of energy, which are not bad traits considering he was born in a fighting arena. Throughout Mario's adventure, Yoshi Kid helps him by letting the portly plumber ride around on his back. Considering Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is a pretty expansive RPG with many locations, this helps greatly cut down the time it takes to travel throughout the world. At the end of the game, Yoshi Kid returns to the Glitz Pit under his new stage name, the Great Gonzalez Jr., further demonstrating his admiration for his illegitimate dad. Despite having an attitude at times, Yoshi Kid's respect for his elders and gratefulness gets him into the top 3. Man's best friend is also Dinosaur's best friend. Poochie the dog is up next. While not the most recognizable supporting character in the Mario universe, Poochie has cemented himself a legacy ever since his introduction in Yoshi's Island. Throughout Yoshi's adventures, Poochie often appears to help Yoshi throughout treacherous situations, running over hazards which would hurt Yoshi, and giving him a boost where needed. Poochie will also sniff out useful items in many of Yoshi's games, and even does the same for Mario eventually in Super Mario Odyssey. He may not be the most heroic character, but this dog is definitely a helpful ally to have whenever you're in a tight situation. Next on our list is the infant version of the iconic Italian plumber himself, Baby Mario. Even at such an early age, Baby Mario showcases many of the personality traits which would go on to define his adult self. Namely, Baby Mario is shown to be courageous and protective, riding with Yoshi on his quest to save his brother from Kamek. While it's true Baby Mario spends most of the game on Yoshi's back, he does take action from time to time by turning into Superstar Mario whenever he can. However, Baby Mario's true heroism comes into play in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, where he and his brother offer to help their future counterparts rescue Princess Peach from the Shroobs. Baby Mario's only real fault is that his cries can be grating to listen to in the Yoshi games, but since he is still an infant at the end of the day, we can't really hold that against him. Right below his brother is Baby Luigi. Baby Luigi has many of the same attributes as Baby Mario, mainly his heroism demonstrated in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. He is portrayed as less of a crybaby than Mario, which is ironic considering how adult Luigi cries much more often than his brother. In fact, Baby Luigi seems to cry less than even his grown-up counterpart throughout the events of Partners in Time. While Baby Luigi does have many positive attributes, he is more often than not a damsel in distress, which is why his brother ranked slightly higher than him. Although, to be fair, if the tables were turned, we have no doubt that Baby Luigi would help Yoshi save his brother from the clutches of evil, much like he did as an adult when Mario was trapped by King Boo. The next entry on our list goes to a big baddie turned a big ally, Raphael the Raven. First appearing as a regular Raven at the end of the 5th world in Yoshi's Island. This quickly changes when Kamek uses his magic to dramatically increase Raphael in size. After his boss fight, Raphael apparently turns into a constellation in the sky, apparently implying he exploded into a supernova. However, this turns out to not be the case, as Raphael the Raven returns in Paper Mario as a leader of reformed ravens who coexist with the Yoshis. He helps Mario on his adventure by getting him into Mount Lava Lava, and even gives him the Ultra Stone, an item which allows Mario to power up his partners to their fullest potential. Due to his actions in Paper Mario, we're chalking his bad behavior in Yoshi's Island to being under the control of Kamek's dark magic rather than malicious intent. Following Raphael the Raven, we have another character who appears in the first Paper Mario game, the village leader, also known as Chief Yoshi, the leader of the Yoshi clan, which resides on Lava Lava Island. The village leader is portrayed as calm, sensible, and dignified. It is stated that in his past, he used to be much more rambunctious, antagonizing the ravens living on his island, but became much more mature with age. When all the Yoshis are panicking when their children are taken, the village leader attempts to calm down his people as Mario rescues the babies. When Mario succeeds, the village leader gives him the Jade Raven to help him find Raphael deeper in the jungle. Chief Yoshi's outstanding leadership skills, calm demeanor, and reward to Mario for his assistance secures him a very respectable spot among the good characters in his species. Riding into our next spot are the two brothers which ride the titular dinosaurs, Mario and Luigi. When the iconic Mario brothers encounter Yoshi for the first time in Super Mario World, they immediately become friends and team up in a collaborative effort to save the princess and prevent Yoshi's Island by being overthrown by Bowser. Since then, the Yoshis have maintained a very strong relationship with the Plumbers, appearing in many other adventures to assist them on their journeys. If the Yoshis have a strong bond with Mario and Luigi and fight towards the same goals, why do the brothers rank somewhat further down the list? Well, let's take a look at how they actually treat their dinosaur companion in Super Mario World. You know where I'm going with this. First off, Mario and Luigi literally punch Yoshi in the back of the head to make his tongue extend, which could be seen as prehistoric animal abuse. Also, depending on how sadistic the player is, Mario and Luigi can also ditch their Jurassic steed by using him as an extra boost when they're falling into pits. While their treatment of the dinosaur has definitely improved in subsequent games, Mario and Luigi's actions in Yoshi's debut do knock them down a few pegs in the good category. Floating into our next entry is the princess toddler herself, Baby Peach. Appearing originally in Yoshi's Island DS, Baby Peach is a playmate of Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. Showing the friendship between her and the brothers has been established at a very young age. In that game, she helps Baby Mario rescue his brother by aiding him and Yoshi to get him back from Kamek. Despite this, she is not portrayed to be as heroic as Baby Mario or even Baby Luigi, staying behind with Toadsworth during the events of Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. She is often portrayed as emotional and does manage to get captured in many instances, which are many of the traits she shares with the fully grown Princess Peach. Still, Baby Peach has a good heart and playful nature which lands her a solid position in our ranking, definitively answering the age-old question of where do babies come from for years. The stork flies into our next spot. Ever since his first appearance in Yoshi's Island, the stork has always had one goal in mind: to deliver new babies to their rightful homes. After being rescued from Kamek along with Baby Luigi, the stork continues his duties even knowing full well the risk that these babies bring, which is very commendable. When the stork realizes that Baby Wario is homeless, he even decides to take the role of Baby Wario's guardian. The stork definitely is a noble character, however he loses some points for being a bit incompetent. This is best demonstrated at the beginning of Yoshi's New Island, when the stork delivers Baby Mario and Baby Luigi to the wrong house, causing Baby Luigi to be captured by Kamek again. His good deeds make up for this, even though we do wish this bird was a bit more careful and not quite as feather-brained. We finally reach the baby version of the main dinosaur himself, Baby Yoshi. While the adult Yoshis are certainly defined by their appetite, Baby Yoshi takes their hunger to a whole other level. In Super Mario World, Baby Yoshis will literally bounce and do nothing until Mario and Luigi feed them enemies. Upon eating 5 enemies, they grow into a full-sized Yoshi, allowing Mario and Luigi to ride them. Baby Yoshis have a more active role in New Super Mario Bros. U, in which they assist the heroes in different manners depending on their color. The blue Baby Yoshi spits bubbles, the magenta one inflates, and the gold one lights up dark areas. Their more active role in this game does define Baby Yoshi as a helpful companion in its own right rather than an obstacle for getting an adult Yoshi. Rounding out the good characters, we have the Green Dragon and Red Dragon from Yoshi's story. Since there aren't many differences between the two characters' functions or personalities, we're gonna rank them together. These are 2 giant creatures which Yoshi cruises around on in different levels of his adventure. While these dragons are technically allies and do help Yoshi get from point A to point B, they also won't stop to help if Yoshi does fall off on their backs. If we were to rank one dragon above the other, we would probably say the green dragon is more moral since the red dragon refuses to elevate itself very far above the lava, which is deadly to Yoshi. Not the most memorable or defined character, but their assistance to Yoshi does land them at the bottom of our good section. Now that we've ranked the most moral characters, it's time to dive into the gray area. These are characters that could be interpreted as either good or bad depending on how you look at their actions. This is the gray area. At the top of the gray area, we have the most meme-worthy character on our list, Fat Yoshi from Super Mario RPG. Appearing initially as a baby Yoshi, Fat Yoshi asks for cookies from Mario until he eventually inflates in size. After letting his physical appearance go, this chunky Yoshi continues to ask for cookies and lay eggs, containing items upon getting fed. The items he lays does make him a helpful character in the game, even though his laziness and overeating does make him a figure which no other Yoshi should aspire to be. Next up, we have the crazed bunny from another universe, Rabbid Yoshi. Appearing in Mario and the Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Rabbid Yoshi is one of the few members of its species fighting to save the Mushroom Kingdom from being taken over. He is an exceptional weapons expert and uses his arsenal of long-ranged equipment to help Mario and friends throughout their adventure. He is fighting for a noble cause, however, many of his personality traits are shared with the evil Rabbids. In particular, Rabbid Yoshi is destructive, crazy, and mischievous. He even goes as far as to store his weapons in his mouth. It's odd to think such a violent creature could be a big fan of such a peaceful dinosaur, but since Rabbid Yoshi is here to help protect the kingdom, we'd say it ultimately worked out for the best. In the middle of the gray area, we have Yoshi's object of affection, Birdo. While Birdo hasn't appeared in any of Yoshi's actual games, their relationship is often hinted at in the Mario spin-off games, so she deserves her own spot on this list. Birdo is a very confident character, almost to the point of being cocky. She sees herself as a beautiful creature which every species in the kingdom would love to be with. The main reason Birdo lands in the gray area is due to her early appearances as an enemy in Super Mario Bros. 2. Birdo is often seen as the very first transgender video game character, potentially breaking boundaries back in the 80s. Come to think of it, considering Yoshi's lay eggs, it makes you wonder how exactly their relationship truly works, logistically. But we'll leave that to your imagination. Stop the list because the next character in our ranking is Pachyderm. Appearing exclusively in the first level of Yoshi's story, Pachyderm is a large elephant creature who prevents Yoshi from traversing down certain paths. Yoshi stuns Pachyderm by ground pounding, allowing him to pass. While Pachyderm is an enemy of Yoshi, the reason he lands in the gray area is because he never actually does anything harmful. He blocks Yoshi's path, and once he fails, he never tries to interrupt Yoshi's journey again. His passive nature is really what lands him in the gray section. And rounding out that gray section, we have another infant, Baby Wario. Along with Baby Donkey Kong, Baby Wario has appeared in only 2 games, making him one of the more underseen baby characters. Baby Wario first appears in Yoshi's Island DS as one of the babies Yoshi rescues on his journey. Similarly to adult Wario, Baby Wario is portrayed as very greedy and rude, carrying a large magnet to collect coins. What really ranks Baby Wario so low is that unlike the other babies, he abandons Yoshi on his quest. A few levels after Yoshi saves him, he ditches the dinosaur to run off with a group of bandits because of his greed, making him absent for the majority of the game. He later rejoins Yoshi to storm the castle, but this is only because he wants to get his hands on the treasure that resides within. His lack of loyalty is what ranks him so low, but his young age and occasional helpfulness is what saves him from the bad section. Finally, we reach the bad and evil characters. These are the characters which are the true antithesis to the peace and happiness which the Yoshis represent. Starting off our bad section, we have the lowest ranking member of his own species, Boshi. Appearing in Super Mario RPG, Boshi is often seen as the Yoshi equivalent of Wario and Waluigi. Boshi cheated his way to victory in the Mushroom Derby races held on Yoster Island. Upon his victory, he claimed himself the Yoshi leader and subsequently canceled the races to ensure that no one would dethrone him. Mario does convince Boshi to race him by bribing him with Yoshi cookies. Upon being beaten, Boshi decides to forego his mischievous ways and only participate in fair races. His change of heart does mean that there is help for Boshi yet, but only judging his actions in this one game, he certainly lands somewhere on the dark side. Next, we have the lowest ranking toddler on our list, Baby Bowser. not to be confused with Bowser Jr., Koopa Kid, or the Koopalings. Baby Bowser is the infant version of Mario's main antagonist. He is often the final boss in Yoshi's adventures, being given strength from Kamek's magic. Much like his older self, Baby Bowser is vengeful, persistent, and abusive, holding a grudge against Yoshi for ruining his fun. The only reason Baby Bowser narrowly avoids being put in the bottom 3 is that much of his personality can be attributed to his own upbringing, with Kamek clearly spoiling him and teaching him terrible morals. However, this doesn't do quite enough to save this tyrannical toddler from a spot firmly in the bad and evil section. The Bronze Medal of Evil goes to the biggest baddie on our list, Yoob. Appearing in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Yoob is a giant robotic kaiju Yoshi robot created by the Shroobs to terrorize Yoshi's Island. He devours the residents of the island, which then enter his factory-like body and captured into eggs. Upon being devoured, Mario, Luigi, and their past selves conquer Yoob by fighting its operator, a mutant egg boss named Sunnyside. This ultimately destroys Yoob, but as one last insult, the brothers must exit using the giant creature's digestive system. The destruction that Yoob causes, and the fact that it was literally created as a war machine, make it one of the most dangerous and evil threats the likes of which the Yoshis have encountered. The Silver Medal of Evil goes to the Koopa King himself, Bowser. Since Bowser obviously has a long and storied history, we're only going to be looking at his acts pertaining to the Yoshi series. In Super Mario World, Bowser attempts to conquer Dinosaur Island by building forts, giving each of the Koopalings their own separate island. While usually Yoshi ends up fighting Bowser's baby version, adult Bowser does end up being the antagonist in Yoshi's Island DS, where he travels back in time to kidnap the 7 Star Children in order to rule the world. If being a tyrannical dictator bent on world conquest wasn't enough, the fact that he resorted to child abduction to reach those goals is more than enough to earn him the Silver Medal of Evil. Finally, the Gold Medal of Evil goes to Bowser's right-hand magician, Kamek. It might seem odd to give the gold medal to one of Bowser's minions rather than the evil king himself. However, given the fact that Kamek was Baby Bowser's guardian and mentor from the beginning, Kamek is largely responsible for Bowser being the evil overlord that he is today. Also, while Bowser is shown to have sympathetic attributes on certain occasions, Kamek elicits no such pathos from the players. He brainwashes characters into working for him, such as Raphael the Raven, who turns out to be a good guy. The fact that Kamek was the first character in the series to resort to child abduction also gives him an edge over the other baddies. Kamek is an evil and cunning character whose magic is often the biggest threat in Mario's adventures, even to this day. For all those reasons, this Magic Koopa grabs our gold medal for evil. And with our morality spectrum concluded, let's wrap things up with some honorary sinner medals to Yoshi and his friends. The Darwin medal would have to go to the Stork for sending Baby Mario and Baby Luigi to the wrong houses at the beginning of Yoshi's New Island. Also, as noble as it was, becoming Baby Wario's guardian is probably not the wisest choice for this bird to take on. The Pride medal is given to Yoshi Kid, the most competitive Yoshi around. Yoshi Kid takes pride in being a valuable member of Mario's cohort, and given how much he helps, we can't say we blame him. The Wrath medal goes to Baby Bowser, the most temperamental of the children, always angry and demanding his way. It's no wonder this spoiled kid became the vengeful Koopa King we know today. The Gluttony medal is awarded to Fat Yoshi, who literally does nothing but eat Yoshi cookies in exchange for hatching items. Also, since he never actually moves anywhere, we're also going to go ahead and award him the Sloth medal as well. The Greed medal, of course, goes to Baby Wario, who carries around a giant magnet with him in order to collect coins. Baby Wario loves gold more than anything else, and will do whatever he needs in order to collect it. The Lust medal is awarded to Birdo, the most flirtatious dinosaur around. Birdo is on a constant quest for love and admiration, which she never deters from expecting due to her vanity. But let us know in the comments section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge our Good to Evil playlist, where we break down the morality of the characters in your favorite games. Thanks for watching.